Alright guys, thanks for watching the channel. Now all this equipment that I got out of the storage locker I have back here at the store, and so it's time to kind of go through and test stuff, starting with this 1968 Bandmaster. Okay, so this amp came out of the locker and I brought it back to the store and it was missing a couple of tubes. And I also noticed that the fuse was not in it. So I have a lot of tubes laying around the shop here. And so I put a couple tubes in it. And then I put a new 2 amp slow blow fuse in it. And tried it out, turned it on. The red light came on for about a second. And then went right back off and it blew the fuse. So, got a Bandmaster, but it needs service, so I'm going to take that and drop it off to my service tech that does my amp repair for me. So this Marshall cabinet was in the locker, and it's a bottom cabinet, and it had one vintage 30 speaker in it, and that's it. It only had one out of the 4 12-inch speakers. It only had one speaker in it, and again, it was a vintage 30, but I had a customer, he actually traded me 2 12-inch speakers for the one vintage 30, so I got so now I have 4 Celestion speakers in it, and I wired it to be a 4-ohm cabinet, and it works good. I've played through it a couple of times, so I was able to get the Marshall cabinet up and running. It sounds pretty darn good, and this is for sale. Okay, and this one guitar that came out of the locker, the Nippon, I had some old, what are these, ping tuners. I had old parts laying around. I put a nut on it. I put a bridge and some of these brass bridge pins. I had a whole bunch of these bridge pins laying around. So I got this thing going. So it's kind of beat up, but it's the old made in Japan. It's kind of beat up, but you know, nice little guitar. Good kind of campfire thing. Just kind of a beater. It's got top cracks, but it's actually playable now. Alright, so I also got this out of the locker, and this looks to be a Tascam mini studio, and we all had one of these when we were younger. This looks like the Tascam that is battery powered. They always broke. They used cassettes, a little 4-track, and so this is a fun piece. So this came out of the locker. Kind of cool. Okay, so we'll look through this box. Here's the tube screamer. We need to test that. Here's a Boss Octave, the OC2. It's in really good condition. I can't imagine this is not working. And just odds and ends, an old PV 4-button foot switch, an old DOD, just the box for a DOD fuzz. It's kind of cool to have just the box. Now this is a foot switch for an old Maestro amp of some sort. This probably should be cleaned up. And I don't know, I might be able to resell that. And then again, here's another foot switch for an old Sun. The vibrato distort reverb boost foot switch. Just with the little RCA things on here. Guys, if you know anybody that's maybe interested in this pedal, you guys can call me. Old school Fender strap. And more power supplies. Alesis 9-volt. So this is probably for one of those Alesis pedals of some sort. Got the 4-pin. Maybe an old mixing console or something. Yeah, just going through. the Roland guitar synth. Now there's the instructions for it. I have that setting right here. So the Roland guitar synth, guitar synthesizer, I think you actually need to have the actual Roland guitar where this operates that. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. But yeah, this thing, old school, made in Japan stuff. But it also, you know, we got the guitar synth owner's manual right there. But leave me in some comments, guys. Let me know what you think about that. More power supplies, a mic cable, and then this is the Yamaha digital multi effector. And so this thing, it's in pretty rough condition. The wires are all messy, but you know, we can test this thing out. We can clean it up. So yeah, let's see what happens with that. I will test that. And then again, Jimi Hendrix, Seattle, Washington sticker. A couple more power supplies. Okay, let's look in the second box of stuff. Okay, let's see what's in this second box. Alright, so here's that old school DBX noise reduction. One band dynamic range expander. So I thought it was a noise gate. Not really sure. Old recording gear, right? And then here again, it's hard to test this without the amp, but we got the MIDI foot controller for the Yamaha MFC06. And then this one, brand new. Now this I'll be able to price it, since it's still new and shrink wrapped. I'll be able to price that accordingly and put it out in the front showroom. And then again, another power supply with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-pin power supply. What's it say? Output 9-volt AC. And then again, this thing, and it is the Rockman MIDI pedal. Looks like it's in really rough condition. Don't know if it'll ever work, but yeah, there is that. So now this also came out of the locker. Tech 21 Tri Overdrive. So this one I can definitely test. So let's go ahead and test some of these pedals, and let's see if I can get any of these to be working. Okay, so I got a guitar hanging up on the wall here. And let's plug this thing in, just into my little amp that I have under my desk here. Alright, so it looks like we've got a working, little scratchy there. It's been years since it's been plugged in. Sometimes you can spray on this a little bit. Okay, so we got a British sound. The Tweed sound. Right here. Level and drive. Yeah, so when I first saw this in the locker, I thought it was one of those direct boxes, right? The Tech 21 direct box. But it's actually a nice little working overdrive, and it's the pods are a little scratchy here and there, but it's working. It looks like you got a Tweed channel, the California channel, the British channel. So again, you know, the Tweed would be a Fender amp. California would maybe be a Mesa Boogie style of an amp. The British would be Marshall, maybe a Vox style of amp. So we got one good working pedal so far. Let's take a look at the next one. Okay, so here's that Electro Harmonics envelope filter. Now I already worked on this thing and I replaced the battery that was inside it and the little battery clamp that was hooked up. So I've got a couple of these things laying around. So I got inside this. The old battery was corroded onto this and everything, so I put a new one inside, and it seems like it's working fine. It might need a new switch. Most of the time, it's coming on. Yeah. There it is. And I'm not hearing any signal. So, I probably was jumped the gun when I put a price tag on these. I was excited to go on Reverb and look and see what they were going for. But I'm going to also give this one to my repair guy. He's got a lot of work because it needs a new switch. Okay, let's try the next one. Alright, so the Ibanez Fat Cat Distortion. Let's see if it makes any noise. No, it's broken. It feels like it's coming apart here. It's not getting power. The whole thing's rocking around in there. The Fat Cat Distortion is broken. I am really lucky though, because I got a great repair guy that works on all this kind of stuff for me, and he changes stuff out. Oh, you can see right here the clip. Yeah, the clip right here is broken. That opens it up. Usually you push that little thing down, this whole thing will open up. It needs a new switch in there. It'll probably end up being able to get it going. But these, I looked this up on Reverb, and these things are bringing like $200 or so now. Oh, there it goes. Oh, wow. Alright, let's do this. If you guys are still with me, let's go ahead and change the battery. Here we go. It's always a good idea. Now, I know this thing's been in a locker for a long time. This battery is probably Deadsville. 0.7, yeah, it's a 9-volt battery. Doesn't even have one volt. Let me see if I got a 9-volt somewhere. We'll see what happens here. Yeah, because these Fat Cats, these are pretty popular pedals. So there we go. I'm going to plug these back in again. Yeah, buying old pedals, it's fun. Most of the time they are broken. Okay, from the guitar in and out to the amp. Yep, so it's working. But it needs some work to get the lid fixed. But here's the on-off switch, and it's just kind of floating around in there. But the whole thing is functioning. It's honestly, it's probably an easy repair for my repair guy. If he can get those little parts that's needed in there, he might already have some. So I'm going to call this one, it's going to work. It's one of those, it'll eventually, the Fat Cat pedal, it might take me 3 months or so, but I will get that thing going. Alright, so this is that Boss RT20. Wait, hold on. Got those backwards. Input mono. Output mono. And then we have a power cord right here. Okay. It's doing something, right? It's my front door. So, effect on, effect off. So yeah, and so this thing, it seems like it's working just fine. This thing's really a nice piece. It's in great shape. The Boss RT20, it's working just fine. I think it's fine. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, the octave pedal. Let's see here. Sound looks like it's coming on. And there's always going to be dust when you test these old pedals. But you just got to use them a while and let them get going. Yep. I'm going to say this pedal is fine. The OC2 Boss octave pedal. Okay, here we go. This is the Ibanez Tube Screamer Sound Tank. Looks like a little tank. A little plastic tank. Okay, we're just going for it here. It's coming on. And I'm just hitting a couple notes on a guitar. Seems like it's functioning nicely. These things are about 30 bucks on the used market. There you go. So we got a working sound tank Tube Screamer. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys all have a great day. Do that whole like and subscribe and hit the bell notification and all that kind of stuff. And check out some of my links in the description below. Okay? Have a great day.